car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Couldn't have sung it better myself. In fact, I couldn't have sung it at all. That's why they hired the professionals. Don Parker here for Talk at 10. Thank you for joining us. This is the Frontier Motor Show here on News Talk 1370 WCOA. Want to get a price of a car, truck, or SUV you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in? Give us a call. We'll be here for the next 30 minutes, 478-3116. And if you do, I will connect you to the real star of the show. I, of course, refer to the owner of Frontier Motors, located at 230 Beverly Parkway, Ivan Streckel. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Don, thanks so much. And we are also videotaping this for our Blab TV customers. So if you're watching this on TV, it's probably not a live show. Now, this is the 1370 Talk Radio Show. I think 1370 is the oldest talk radio show in Pensacola.
It certainly is. It's about the fourth oldest in the state of Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
1926 is
1926. Was that, how old were you then?
I was probably 15, 20.
We are going to be talking cars for the next half hour, and one of the things that we want to let the people in the Pensacola area know that there is a dealership to go to if you are in the new car market. Now, we are Frontier Motors, an independent used car lot. What I mean by used car, that means that we sell cars that somebody else has owned prior to that. Now, they might be cars that have very low miles on them. I'll give you an example. I have two 2018 Buick Encores on the lot with 11 miles on them. One has 10, one has 11 miles on, so that's pretty new. So we also have a Nissan NV200, which is a cargo van, and that's got 140 miles on. But that'll give you an idea that just because we are a used car dealership doesn't mean that we can't sell cars that are like new. Now, because we don't have franchises, we have to sell these cars as used cars. Matter of fact, this morning I was talking with a friend of mine. He works for a company that needs some cargo vans, and he says that he was going to have the purchasing director, call me at Frontier Motors, because to get brand new ones, it takes 17 months to get a brand new cargo van through General Motors, which is ridiculous. I don't know why. He said it's something to do with the new 2019s are coming out or something like that. I said, well, I can get these 2018 models with 7,000 to 10,000 miles on them, and they were about $8,000 less than a brand new one. And folks, there are some people out there that are going to buy brand new cars, and I kind of make fun of that a little bit because last year was just about a record year. The year before was a record year for new car sales. 17.5 million cars were sold 2 years ago. Last year they sold 17.1 million cars. Anything in the 17 million is pretty much a record, which means a lot of people are not listening to the show, not listening to my advice, because one of the things that we talk about is the alternative to new. And most people know who Dave Ramsey is. Dave Ramsey is the talk guru that talks about saving money. And here's what he says about buying a used car versus a new car.
Hey, Dave Ramsey here. Whether you're on baby step 1 or baby step 7, my advice when it comes to buying a car has been the same. Don't buy new. Consumer Reports last year put into writing that a new car depreciates 27% in the first 12 months. On an average price $34,000 new car, that's roughly a $9,200 loss in the first year alone. Here's what you should do instead. Go see my friends at Frontier Motors. They specialize in great used cars that still look and smell like new. Frontier Motors offers over 400 of these vehicles in stock in one location. What sets these guys apart from a regular car dealership is that they make the hated process of buying a car a stress-free experience. They're one of the few dealers that will give you a bottom line out-the-door price in writing. It's not very easy finding an honest car dealer, but I know you'll be treated right when you shop at Frontier Motors. Tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
And this is one of the things that Consumer Reports says the same thing. I've got the article right here, and the first time that they put this into writing, we've been talking about depreciating and why you buy a used car versus a new car for the last 21 years, because that's how long Frontier Motors has been in Pensacola. But the second year depreciation is 37%. So if you buy a brand new car, which the average price was about $35,000, $36,000 in that range, in 2 years you lose $12,000. In 3 years you lose $15,000. And in 4 years you lose $20,000, which is 56% of the value of the car. So why not buy that car that's 1 year old? And that's one of the things that we specialize in, with having almost 400 cars in stock. I talked about a couple of the Encores and the Nissan Cargo Van with 100 miles. We've got a Chevy Equinox with 600 miles on it, a Nissan Sentra with 700 miles, a Toyota Sequoia with 800 miles, a Malibu with 1,000 miles, a Cherokee with 1,100 miles, a Lexus ES350 with 1,300 miles on it. Folks, the list goes on and on and on. So what we would do at Frontier Motors is tell you that we are the alternative to new. So if you're thinking about buying a new car, there's a couple of reasons you'd stop in at Frontier Motors. Number one is obvious. How much can we save you on a car that's like the ones I just discussed? Maybe 6 months old, maybe 8 months old. That's still under factory warranty. Clean history report, no issues. These are not lemon law buybacks. A lot of people always wonder, why does somebody get rid of a car with 100 miles on it or 10 miles on it, for example? It's because sometimes these leasing and rental companies, they over-purchase cars. They buy too many of them at one crack. If those cars aren't dispersed, they take them to the auction, and they open those auctions out now to independent dealers like Frontier Motors, where you used to have to be, for example, to buy a Buick Encore with 10 miles on it, you used to have to be a Buick dealer. Well, not anymore. Now I can get in there right with the Buick dealers and bid on those cars, bring them back. And because our overhead is a little bit lower, because we're not a mausoleum, we don't have a $2 to $10 million building, we can sell these cars at less of a profit and still stay in business. So we try to stock at least 100 to 200 of these cars that have very low miles on it, that are the alternative to new. The other cars that we have, the other 200 cars, are cars that we either buy off the street from private individuals, or we take them in trade that have medium miles on it, that are used cars that you can be bought anywhere from $7,500 to maybe $15,000. So not all of our cars are these cars that compete with brand new one. Now, the other reason you stop in a Frontier Motors is, let's say that you are going to buy a brand new car. The wife says, there's no way we're buying a used car. It's just somebody else's headache. I get this every once in a while. Why would I even think about buying a used car? And even if I can save you $6,000, sometimes that just doesn't work. But why not stop in a Frontier Motors to get our opinion of what your trade-in is worth? Within 15 minutes, we have 5 appraisers at the dealership. There's always 3 of them on duty. Within 15 minutes, we can give you a written appraisal that you can take to the dealer of your choice if you're going to buy a brand new car, and where you can tell them, this is what Frontier Motors will give me for my car, and I'm not even going to buy a car from them because I've decided I'm going to buy brand new. So wouldn't that be a good thing to have in your pocket, like some extra ammunition? And if I give you $20,000 for your car, and they tell you they're going to give you $18,000 for your car, well, it's a simple thing to say. Doesn't mean you have to run back to Frontier Motors, which of course we would love you to do, but why not use our information and get them to give you at least what I'm giving you? I always think that if you're going to buy a brand new car from a dealership, and let's say you're spending $30,000 or $40,000 at the dealership, shouldn't they give you more for the trade-in than what I'm going to give you if you're not doing business with me? I think that they should give you at least $1,000 or $1,500 more if you're going to spend that kind of money with them. But at least you can go in there and make sure that they don't take advantage of the vehicle. The other reason you might want to pop in is if you want to just dispose of the trade-in. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to sell my own car. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't like trade-in cars, because I never know if I'm getting a good deal or not. Because, you got the deal on the new car, you've got to figure out, is there a good discount? Are there good rebates? What am I paying? What are the fees? So that's one transaction. And then how much are they going to give me for my vehicle? And sometimes that gets this combobulated a little bit, because they give you off of the list price, they'll give you a really good trade-in, but off the discounted price, they won't give you very much for the trade-in at all. So I always urge you to get the best possible deal on the car you're buying, get them to give you the discount, and add them the taxes and everything, and then toss them the keys for yours, and then you'll find out exactly what they're appraising your car for. And that's when you want to pull out our appraisal if they're giving you $18,000 and I'm giving you $20,000, and say, hey, this isn't working out for me at all. So either up your appraisal or I'm out of here. And that's how I can give you the information to make sure that you don't get ripped off when you're in the market. Now, let's say that you're thinking about buying a used car and we don't exactly have what you're looking for. Well, the first thing I would tell you is let me try to find it for you. So if I don't have it sitting there, one of the things that I would say, give me a week, give me 2 weeks to try to locate the car of your dreams. So if you want a particular car and I don't have the right color, or maybe you want a stick shift and all I have is automatics, or vice versa, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a price quote. I'm going to say, give me a couple of weeks to find this particular car, and we go out and buy that car for you. The price is already pre-agreed on. And if you're nervous about buying a car you can't see, You don't give us any money. You don't even give us a signature, just your word that as long as it passes your inspection, that we've got a deal. I'll go ahead and take your word and your handshake and go buy that car for you, with the understanding is that you get to get it inspected first. That's a really good way to buy a car, even if we don't have it exactly on the lot. Now, the third thing I can help you with is that, let's say you found a car at another dealer and you're not sure if it's a good deal. Do not be embarrassed to call Frontier Motors. Give us the ID number of the car, a little bit about the car and how many miles it has on it, and let us do some research for you. We can do this actually while you're still on the phone, as long as you have the ID number. It's very important that we get the ID number. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our system. The first thing it's going to do is going to spit out a Carfax report and an auto check report. Those are the two largest providers of history reports in the nation. We subscribe to both of them, and we can run these at no charge for you. Some of the smaller dealerships in town will run a Carfax report, but they make you pay for it. We do it at no charge. Obviously, if you're buying from a private individual, you're going to end up having to pay for one yourself. Don't do that. Just call us with the ID number, and our computer will tell us what it says. We can share the information with you if it's a good report, or if it's a bad report, or if it's a mediocre report. The other thing then we can share you with, it also spits out an average selling price in our area with the equipment and the miles that are on that particular car. Now, one thing I can't talk about is the condition of the car, because if you're looking at this car online, supposedly, let's say it's out of the area. Let's say it's in Miami, and you're looking for a Lexus, and you say, oh, there's a Lexus, and it's $2,000 less than it's Miami. One thing that you don't know and you can't see on pictures or on the internet is what the condition of that car is. They make the pictures look really good, folks. I know, because I've bought cars that I haven't seen, and I've been sorry that I did. So I try to stay away from doing things like on eBay, for example, where you click the bid thing, and all of a sudden, okay, you're the high winner. Well, not what? Now what? You just bought this car. You haven't seen it. They want the money before they ship it. So then you pay for it. You do the PayPal thing, or you wire transfer the money. 2 weeks later, the car arrives on your doorstep, and it's a complete repaint, or it stinks on the inside. Now what do? You've already paid for the car. What are you going to do? File a complaint with somebody? That's why you want us to do the research for you, to give you the background of the car, give you the history report of the car, tell you what to look for, tell you how to get inspected if it's not in the area, who to call for the inspection, and most importantly, what's a fair deal on that car. And a lot of times what I can do is let people know that I can get that car either less expensive, and even if it's at the same price, let us find that car for you and purchase that car, maybe not the particular car on that dealer's lot, but something that I can get at the auction where I can buy it at a good enough price where I can bring it back from the auction, mark it up and make some profit on it, but still give you the same deal and let you see it first before you pay for it. So it's a win situation for everyone with that particular car. And number two, the reliability of that car. How many times they have to take it in for warranty work or repairs even after the warranty work. And then they rate these cars, and they also throw safety into the mix. A lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on safety, but Consumers Reports does. They want to make sure that the vehicle's got a 4 or 5-star crash rating. And then the last thing they work on is the road test of the car. How does the car drive? How does it feel? How does it perform? How fast is it from 0 to 60? How fast does it slow down? One of the examples was the new Tesla product that came out, the Tesla 3. They did not recommend it last year because the car would not slow down fast enough for them as far as come to a complete stop. It said an F-150 stopped faster than this Tesla. So Tesla now, I saw this on 60 Minutes, was it either 60 Minutes or Good Morning America the other day, where Tesla has done a update, electronic update that they can do over the phone, where they got this car, instead of being 150 feet, to stop at 130 feet. It was just an update. It's phenomenal. And Tesla's now talking about the fact that with the next couple of years, they can fix any car online. You don't have to come in anymore. If check engine light comes on, if the car doesn't run good, they can just go into their little computer system and do an update and fix that car. Let's wait to be seen. But right now, Consumer Reports says, okay, they bought that car that now has been updated. They tested it, and now they gave it a good rating. So that's really good. And because of that, Tesla has now made number 8 in the rankings. But let's start with number 1, folks. Genesis is the top rated car right now, Genesis. By the way, the Genesis used to be a model for Hyundai. Some people might not know this if they're not into Hyundais. Well, I like Hyundais, and Genesis was just one of the cars they sold. They sold the Hyundai Equus, which is their top line. Then they sold the Genesis, which was right below that. Well, 2 years ago, they took the Genesis name and they made it a brand, which means that it's just like Lexus. So the Genesis has a G80 and a G90 and more to come. They only have 2 models right now. Customer satisfaction is 100%, and so is their recommendation. So Genesis right now, with only having 2 models, it wasn't that hard to get them to the top. Number 2 is Audi. Audi has 8 models, and Audi is the only other manufacturer that had 100% recommended by Consumers Reports. Even Lexus didn't have all their models, which Lexus is always a good car. Number 3 was BMW. BMW makes 8 models, and 88% of them were ranked. Number 3 was Lexus. They have 6 models out, 67%. So there's a couple of Lexus models that didn't recommend, but Lexus has always been one of the most reliable cars out there. Don't forget, I'm not using the reliability ratings right now. I'm losing overall, which is roadability, safety, features, and customer satisfaction, their recommendation, and reliability. And Lexus is always one of the most reliable cars. They don't extremely like the way the Lexus handles on a speed course. They love BMW. But Lexus, of course, has always been known for their plush ride, not so much for their handling, which of course is not true anymore, in my opinion, because I am driving an LC500, which is their new flagship little race car rocket, which has 471 horsepower. And I'll tell you what, folks, this car is absolutely beautiful. One of the guys this morning, when I was playing basketball at the rec center in Gulf Breeze, came up to me and says, "Is that a concept car you're driving? It looks like it's out of the future." And we happen to have the only one available that I know of in Pensacola. And this car, when we talk about depreciation, has a $115,000 window sticker that we're selling for $89,000. It's got 7,000 miles on. So even Lexus, which has a good rating as far as how it holds its value, still loses a ton of money in the first year. Matter of fact, I think this car is only 7 years old. Porsche was number 5. Kia was number 6. Can you believe it? Kia beat Tesla. Kia beat Honda. Kia beat Toyota. Kia beat Mercedes, Lincoln, Volvo. Kia is right up to, folks. If you're thinking about a car, do not shy away from Kia or Hyundai for that matter. Then was Subaru, Tesla, Honda after that, Toyota after that. Chrysler was the biggest comeback. Chrysler was on the bottom of the poll 2 years ago. They are number 11 right now, ahead of Infiniti, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Lincoln, Volvo, and so on. So, folks, the really cool thing about Frontier Motors is when you come in to look for a car, you're not being sold a particular make and model. When you go to a Toyota dealership, what are they going to tell you about that product, especially if you're undecided? You walk in and you say, "Hey, I'm thinking a Toyota, a Lexus, a Honda, maybe a Volvo, maybe a Subaru." What's that Toyota dealer going to do? They're going to bring all kinds of literature out to tell you why they have the best possible product out there, because that's all they sell. So then you go to Honda, and Honda says, "Well, wait a minute. We've got the best product out there." And then, of course, you go to Subaru, and Subaru says, "No, we have the best product out there," because they're all there to sell you what they have. At Frontier Motors, we have you pick out a car. It doesn't matter which one it is. We just want you to buy one. So we don't care if you want the Toyota, the Honda, the Lexus, the Subaru. It doesn't really matter. We have them all lined up. And then we have the other models lined up, including the domestics. We have just about every make and model, including Range Rover, Infiniti, Audi. We have them all lined up right there. And the other cool thing is, other than the fact that you can make up your own mind without being pushed into one particular make and model, is that you can see them side by side without having to go to a multitude of dealers. If you're looking at 10 different model cars, you got to go to 10 different new car dealerships. You got to meet 10 salespeople, 10 managers are going to come out, and they're all going to try to do the, would you if I could? Hey, would you buy that car today if I could do this? You know, they keep going on and on, where it makes you crazy, even though you've come into that dealership saying, "I'm not going to buy a car today. I just want to check your product out so that I can go home and compare them to the other models that I've checked out and go home to the table and figure out what I'm going to buy." So I always do it a little bit differently, Frontier Motors. I let you make the decision, pick out a car. Our job is to give you the best possible out-the-door price. That doesn't mean just a price on a little business card. That means everything included. If you have a trade-in, we're going to deduct what we can give you for the trade-in. We're going to add the taxes, the dock fee, the tax on the dock fee, the tag, the license plate, everything that's going to be that you need to be able to either write the check or the amount of money that you're going to finance if you go into your credit union or bank. That is the easiest way to shop for a car, is ask the dealer for a total out the door figure. Once you have that total out the door figure, doesn't that make it so much easier to compare? So if you go into a Honda dealership and you're looking at a Honda Civic, and let's say you've got a $10,000 approximately trade-in, ask that Honda dealership, I want an out the door figure on your Civic. And now you're going to compare it to the Toyota. Well, what's the equivalent of Toyota? It's Toyota Corolla. So you go to the Toyota dealership, you look at the Corolla, you like them both just as much, and you ask them for an outdoor figure with everything included. And then maybe you're going to go to the Hyundai. I talked about the Hyundai or the Kia. So you're going to go to the Hyundai dealership, you can look at a Hyundai Elantra. Maybe you're going to go and look at a Ford Focus. Maybe you're going to look at a Chevy Sonic. Get all their out-the-door figures. And then you stop in a Frontier Motors and take a look at our vehicles that might have 10,000, maybe 15,000 miles, maybe less. Maybe like a Buick Encore, which, by the way, if you don't know what that is, that's a small SUV, a beautiful small SUV. And we have one with 10 miles on it. Vince Wibbs is our local Buick dealership, so I would always urge you, if you're going to buy brand new, you keep the money here. Vince Wibbs has been around for a long time. They've got a great reputation, and I would urge you to go to them and ask them for an out-the-door figure and then compare it to our 2018 with 10 miles on it, and let's see how much money I can save you. And if it's priced the same, I'm the first one to tell you, why bother with Frontier Motors? Go to a Buick dealership. But what if I could save you $3,000 or $4,000? Car's got 10 miles on it. I think it might be worth it. Let's say the car's 3 months old. Buick comes with a 48-month warranty, so you still have 45 months left on the warranty up to 50,000 miles. So there's a lot of reasons that you will stop in at Frontier Motors. But I think the best thing is the fact that we won't steer you wrong. If you find a good deal somewhere out there, let's say your neighbor's selling their car. How do you know if it's a good deal? You can go online, you can Google it. It'll tell you the Kelley Blue Book shows up. You got an Edmunds book. You got an NEDA. You look at all these books. They're all different. Everyone's different. How do you know which one's right? So let's say the books say the car's worth $25,000. Let's say it's a 2018 Impala that your neighbor has and he doesn't need it anymore. Maybe you got a company car. And the books all say it's worth $25,000 and he's asking $25,000. So why? You could just go there and buy the car, or you could call Frontier Motors and say, hey, tell me what you can sell a car like this for. It's a 2018. It's got 5,000 miles on it. Here's the ID number. So what do we do for you? We run the Carfax report for you. We run the auto check history report for you. And we tell you we can sell you a car just like that for $22,500. Now, that doesn't mean you have to buy our car. But you use that information to go back to your neighbor and say, hey, I just called the Frontier Motors. They said, by the way, that your car's never been in an accident. It is a good car. There's one safety recall. We want to get that fixed before we buy the car. But the most we'll pay for that car is $22,500, even though I know the books are $25,000. That's how you're basing your price. But the books happen to be too high on this particular model. And Frontier Motors, either I have one in stock at Frontier, or I can get you one within a week or two for that price. And then you stop in, and if the neighbor says, nope, I'm not selling it, I can't afford it, I still owe $25,000 because I bought a brand new last year for $35,000. I still owe $25,000, so that's what I got to get. By the way, the amount of money that a person owes on a car has nothing to do with the value. What if he owes $1,000 on it? Would it be worth $1,000? Of course not. What if he owed $30,000? Would that make it worth $30,000? Of course it wouldn't. Obviously, he has to deal with that. And that happens in the car business all the time when a person buys a car brand new, like Dave Ramsey said, and they come back 12 months later and the average loss is $9,200. Well, what if they didn't put any money down? Do you ever hear commercials for the car business saying no money down, no money down? Matter of fact, other than 0% interest and low payments, that's the only other thing I hear is no money down. Now, why is that such an important deal? Because a lot of people don't have any money. They live week to week, but they want a new car. Their car just had a transmission blow up on them. The engine just fell out, and they're thinking, man, I don't want to buy a 100,000-mile used car, but I can go buy a brand new car with no money down. So they do that. And then I got $500 payments, and a year later they say, you know what, I wish I wouldn't have bought a two-door. I wish I would have bought a four-door or a wagon. I got triplets on the way. So they come to the dealership, and they find out they just lost $10,000 in the first year. And now they're in trouble because they put no money down and they still owe $30,000 on a $25,000 car. Now they're stuck. And that's why we urge you that if you have no money down, wouldn't you be better off buying a 1-year-old car from Frontier Motors that maybe I can save you $5,000 or $6,000 on? Because now you're taking advantage of somebody else's depreciation. And that's what I do. I buy these cars used. I don't buy them brand new. I buy them used because I want to be able to bring them back to Pensacola, mark them up so I can stay in business and make a profit, and still beat the competition and save you a chunk of money. Everybody's happy. And that's what it's all about. We don't take advantage of customers, but I'll tell people that I'm going to make money on you, but I'm not going to rip you off. And the way that I do that is I have a program called Price Driver, so I know what every other dealer in our area is selling that car for, so I don't overprice my car. If my car is more money than the person down the road, it's normally because it has a lot less miles on it, it has a lot more equipment on it, and it's in a lot better condition. So if I'm $1,000 more than the competition, there's a reason for it, because I know what the competition's selling them for. And if they've got a car with 25,000 miles on it, my car's got 10,000 miles on it, or their car stinks, or their car's got dings and scratches and tires are half worn off, the spare's missing, it's got a cracked windshield, and you look at our car, and it's a little bit more money, but it's perfect, of course we're going to get your business. And the other thing also to put a little bit of emphasis on is the color of the car. Did you know that an ugly car will sell for less than a good-looking car? And that's not true when it's brand new, because you could buy the ugliest new car and it'll be the same as the prettiest new car. They're all the same if the equipment's the same. Anyways, folks, I just want to let you know that Frontier Motors has been going on Pensacola on the air here for going on 22 years. We went with Blap TV and 1370. We've got a lot of customers that listen to the show and they come in for free advice. We don't make you feel obligated you have to buy from us. That's why we do this. And why do we do this, folks? Because we know that that's not the only car you're ever going to buy. So if you do buy that neighbor's car or a car down the road, the reason we do this is because we want you to tell everybody that Frontier Motors is an honest dealership, and that if you're going to be in the market for a pre-owned car, they're going to send their relatives, their friends, their neighbors to Frontier Motors. At least give us a shot at your business. And that's all we ask. We're not saying you've got to buy, but just come to the dealership and show how we can give you a really good deal on a car and also make it easy and fun to buy that car. So you're not pressured. You're not thinking like, man, these guys are doing that thing again where they're dropping the price $2,000 and asking stupid questions like, what do you want to pay? What do you want for the trade? And what you want your payments to be? I think it's our job as a dealer to tell you what our product is going to run you and have enough faith in our pricing that we will let you go to the next dealership and even urge you to do that, because if you're not comfortable the first time into a dealership, you should shop around. So we give you that. By the way, check us out on our website. Check us out on Facebook. And go to YouTube and you'll see this show. If you want to see my ugly mug, it's actually on YouTube. There's probably 5 or 6 of these shows on YouTube. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen.
Don't overpay. Come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier. We got the right price. Frontier. We'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors. Low overhead country.